Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So today we are going to be taking a look at newly buffed Red Skull, or more specifically his past and present version as it exists right now on the servers if you have updated your game. That's right, update is here for his Red Skull's buff. I will be testing with the rank 3 660 version. We're going to be taking a look at his pre-buff damage with synergies, without synergies, in longer and shorter fights, as well as everything that's changed and how he plays afterwards. So let's start with the actual changes to Red Skull. There's quite a lot of them. He has notably gained Nullify, Fate Seal, and Stagger immunities. He also gains immunity to ability accuracy reduction against mutants, which obviously makes him a domino counter. Removed opponent combat power rate reduction per debuff. That's a massive loss because, as you're going to see in the pre-boss gameplay, if he had retained that, he would be incredibly busted champion. That's a massive loss for the Red Skull. Honestly, I didn't realize it's as potent as it was, especially when synergized up, but it was crazy once I actually tested it. Changed armor buff gain, and he ramps up quicker. Now he's awakened. He gains armor ups every 10 hits on the opponent on the combo bar, plus whenever either champion fills the power bar, which also will mean that he's much worse than defense. There are some additional bits added, like increased heavy attack heal block duration. Per buff, he receives additional attack and minus opponent stun ability accuracy. But now it's changed per armor buff, so you cannot kind of like buff him with Odin anymore, which is a bit of a shame as well. And they completely gutted his synergies, I can be honest. I didn't even bother doing the synergized version post-buff because every single good synergy that he had is kind of made either significantly weaker or infinitely more shit. So there's that. Removed stun from special 1. That's also, one of those things. So effectively, he feels significantly different, and there are some very good things taken away from him. However, there is absolutely no question that he is much better now overall. And this is his pre-buff version. And his pre-buff version was sad. First of all, it took a while to kind of ramp him up. As you can see that I use like an armor up because he only gained an armor up every bar he gained. So whenever you parried, it was actually like, noticeable slowdown in your max armor up. And the shock duration was affected by the amount of armor ups that you had, and it was impossible to ramp him up by the first level 2, which also made it impossible to refresh your shock debuffs, which by the way they have taken away. They now are allowing us to pause the shock debuffs, but we can't keep infinitely refreshing them. Right, all that said, I'm not going to keep you guys for the entire thing. We're going to see that in the first couple of goes I kind of failed to refresh the shocks here just by a second. And Winter Soldier is not going down fast at all. And then I kind of got a hang of it. And we can see that this is more or less his rotation, kind of, sort of. You activate your level 2 at 10 armor ups, pre-buff. And then you effectively race to your level 1 as fast as you can in order to keep refreshing those shocks. And I didn't make some mistakes along the way, but as long as the shocks remain, so does effectively your damage. You can see that all 5 shocks previously did 682 damage per tick. And here I got a cheeky heavy attack intercept. And I do maintain these shocks for the rest of the fight. For most of the fight, I end up maintaining them, which is, again, only possible if you really activate that level 2 whilst you are at 10 armor above. Again, a nice little cheeky heavy intercept there. We can see that his combat power rate is really reduced here. He's hardly gaining any power. And that's massive. That was a massive thing Red Skull had. Obviously, it was made meaningless because Red Skull sucked. But if he was a good champion, that combat power rate reduction per debuff could be absolutely insane because it works on any debuff, including your stun, including your heal block, or let's say theoretically armor break debuffs if you have synergy for Red Skull. They could effectively take away pretty much all of opponent's combat power rate, especially with Tech Color Mastery. Alright, I'm going to put you guys out of the misery. Pre-buff Red Skull took about 5 minutes to finish his fight. Close to 5 minutes. 4.5 minutes took with pre-buff Red Skull. Then I synergized him up, and I effectively tried the same rotation with Odin, and he has some really good synergies. I actually ended up trying 2 different synergy teams. So this one was relying on the same strategy as before, where I was effectively just refreshing the shocks, but you can see the shocks are significantly more potent because he had a synergy that increased his shock damage by 35%. And he had synergy that increases his attack by 5% with Immortal Abomination for each armor up buff that he had, and some other good stuff there. And we can see that that results in significantly faster fight time. So previously, synergized up Red Skull actually did this fight 2 minutes quicker than without synergies, which is a massive difference. And was, that's a respectable score for a 6-star rank 3 champion. And then I tested out a bit different synergy twice here, activating the Odin's buffs, and we're gonna see this because I did want to show you guys this bit as well because it no longer exists in the game. Because again, his Overseer synergy has been nerfed. You do not get armor breaks on your level 2s anymore. And also, they removed his ability to reduce opponent's combat power rate per debuff on them. So that's kind of a big deal. If that had remained, Red Skull would be absolutely insane. He's still very good. I actually like him. I'm considering of taking him up. But as we can see here, alongside shocks, I have a significant chance to place armor break on the opponent. Whenever I do so, not only it increases my damage, but we can see that his combat power here, right here, look at him, barely gaining any. Right, and because of it, and because, some of the synergies let him ramp quicker the way he does right now, he could kind of turn into a monster a bit. Not the most damaging monster, but in total control of the fight, because you could hit the opponent with like an entire combo and parry them once, and they hardly gained any power at any given time, and you still had power control on your parries. So it was crazy good. And it was, quite decent damage too, but that was completely synergized Red Skull. We all know he's kind of a meme. That was 2 minutes and 15, and that's very solid. Right, wait, we still have the Deadpool fights. We all know what's gonna happen here. I mean, like, he did them, but is he fast? No. Is he slow? Yes. And so this is, again, for a 6-star rank 3, a Balgon's level of a fight, just effectively doing the level 2, level 1 rotation or whatnot. And this fight, 1 second, first Deadpool fight took me a minute and 5. That's really slow. That is really slow. And this one is going to be even slower because this is class disadvantage, and previous one was with class advantage, and this is a bigger health pool. And this fight, doing 200k health pool in this setting previously for Red Skull, it took 158. It would be effectively a timeout in Balgon's. It's really bad unsynergized damage is what we're getting at. Right, so the update is here. And now we have the Chad Red Skull. And I'm going to start with this because that was my very first fight. I tested him out. Here I was fighting significantly, more confident and kind of knew what I was doing. And one of the biggest changes with the Red Skull is that you can actually parry. And that's huge. Because even whilst you are consuming some of your armor ups by parries, you're refreshing them quicker. So you get an armor up when either champion fills a bar of power or you reach a threshold of 10 hits. And that, happens fast, you see. I parried him a couple of times at the beginning. By the first level 2, I'm already at max armors. Just parried him again, till max armors. Now the shock damage. The shock damage obviously is significantly higher here. It's, 2.5 times higher. It works out if you activate that level 2 with everything. And now level 1 doesn't refresh them anymore. Which, again, is kind of unfortunate because if it did, you could kind of keep these shocks up infinitely. Now you can typically get in 2, maybe 3 pauses with your level 1s and burst damage before you need to build up back to your level 2. So the rotation for Red Skull is basically level 2, level 1, and then you start over with level 2, level 1, level 1. And whilst you have the shocks on, you want to be as aggressive as possible, which also means that being able to utilize your parry, super helpful. Again, if you would be reducing opponent's combat power rate, that'd be crazy good. Ground can't let us have all the nice things, I suppose. And this is going much faster. I mean, everybody can see that now. After the buff, Shocker is doing Red Skull is doing much better with the shocks and damage in pretty much every aspect. And we still have the pauses going. Again, with parries, you still end up power draining the opponent, so you can kind of be more aggressive than an average champion would. And yeah, that Winter Soldier is ticking down fast. So again, this is unboosted, unsynergized, 6-star rank 3 with no recall masteries, none of that stuff. 159. It used to be 4.5 minutes. It changed to 159. That's a massive difference. Let's go to the next clip. And these are going to be the Deadpool fights. So obviously, he also does much better here. But effectively, just, in the first fight, I actually forgot that I had a heal block ability. So I'm going to redo that fight in a moment as well. Because, okay, then I remembered. I can actually heal block the guy with a heavy attack and I'll be fine. And yeah, so that does help. And now you activate your level 2. He's still heal blocked. He has debuffs on, even if he isn't heal blocked. Despair is still putting in work. And now I'm just going in to refresh my shocks, but the shocks are basically finishing off the job as is. So this attempt was 36 seconds, which is nearly twice as fast as it used to be. And I do this thing again, just keeping the heal block up from the beginning, going from a level 2. And again, keeping that heal block up because it's, longer, it's easier to keep up. And yeah, no, this one now went down in 35 seconds. Not bad. Like, realistically, it's genuinely not bad time for a 6-star rank 3. And going up against Venom the Duck with class disadvantage, significantly bigger health pool. Remember, this guy did 1 minute 58 before. Took him nearly 2 minutes before to do this fight. And now, well, now it's going to take less. How do you think? How much less? How much faster? And again, I assume this fight can be done better with, a few more attempts with more cooperative AI, with a bit more practice and getting used to the champion. But still, look at that. I still have my shocks going, right? I got the pause in as well. And now, 59 seconds. It means exactly twice as fast. So that's Red Skull now. Here's the deal with him. I think he's very serviceable now offensively. I think Kabam restrained themselves with him. They took away a lot of things in his kit that now would be really good. They took away some of his cheese factors, but most importantly, they took away the combat power rate reduction from him and gutted his synergies. At the same time, he's, infinitely better overall still. And also, he should be much tougher on defense now. And that is where my valuation of Shocker is going to lie. If he's decent enough of a defender right now, I'll probably rank him up. I'm not gonna lie. He's a domino counter. Has access to heal block. He has some forms of power control. He's incredibly tanky and sturdy. He has reasonable, offensive capabilities and speed. And yeah, if he's a decent defender, that is the type of champion that I'm personally looking for. Let me know what you guys are thinking, and hope to hear your thoughts and takes and opinions of Red Skull. See you later. Bye-bye. Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information